We're traveling to all 50 states with our kids and staying in the coolest, family-friendly short-term rentals we can find along the way. In Wisconsin, we drove through the cranberry capital of the world and caught the harvest in action before heading to Wisconsin Dells. We stayed at the Dells Den, a brand new, amenity-packed home with something for everyone. Now, with Wisconsin in the rear view, it's time for our next adventure. We just crossed over the border into Iowa, which marks state number 11 on our family's big adventure of visiting all 50 states in 5 months. In most of the states we visit, we're heading straight to the top kid-approved short-term rental.
But in Iowa, things are a little bit different. If you're just tuning into our channel, I am from Iowa. Kylie's from California. We split our time in normal year between Iowa and California. So we have a house here in Iowa. This weekend happens to be a family wedding. And so we are taking a short break from our short-term rental adventure across all 50 states in our electric car, going to the wedding, tidying up a few things at our house, and then we will be back on the road in a few days
to a very, very cool short-term rental right here in Iowa.
Today's strategy of driving across to Iowa is a fairly easy one. We charged up in Wisconsin before we left that state, came into Iowa. We have one charging stop on our way to the central part of the state where we're going to stop for a few days, so not a bad drive. Left our charging stop in Iowa, charged for about 20 minutes, and now we have about an hour and 45 minutes until we get to our destination. We're driving to the coolest kids STRs in every state and trying to fit in some cool points of interest along the way and homeschooling our kids too. But we also have jobs and they're a little bit different, but we are managing short-term rentals remotely. Having connectivity on the road has been key because you can't always count on good internet connections at our short-term rentals in the wilderness. So we installed a Starlink satellite internet system in our truck, and that has been instrumental in staying connected and doing the work that we need to do while we're driving down the road.
Since we spend part of the year in Iowa and part of the year in California, we've done that drive back and forth between the two states several times now. And I've tried relying on cellular data networks and personal hotspots to work on my laptop when we're on these long car stretches, but it just doesn't compare to the speed of the Starlink.
The speed and the consistency, it's always the same. It always works perfectly.
Another big thing that I'm working on in the car, besides our usual day-to-day management stuff, is uploading all of the video clips and the mic audio clips to our editor, who is putting all of these videos together for you to watch. Her name is Paulina. She's wonderful. She's been working so hard on this series for us, and it is a lot of time to upload all of these clips as well.
The average video is around 20 or 30 gigabytes worth of files, and upload speeds matter, and we're able to crank most of it out pretty quickly as we drive down the road.
For each episode, I create an outline, just sort of tells her what we're doing, what the clips are, kind of the flow idea that I have for the video, and then upload all of the clips, and then she takes all of that information and works her magic and creates a video. So right now I'm working on getting her everything for Montana.
You'll notice that we are a couple states behind of what we release, but that's by design. We wanted to have a little bit of a buffer where we keep traveling and be able to do the upload. She'd have time to do the edits and flow out 2 videos per week.
And not stress anybody out too much.
Yeah.
It's been 5 days since we've turned this camera on in the car. We've had a nice time back here in Iowa. We went to a family wedding, caught up with a lot of family on Steven's side, that lives locally and just got our lives in our truck reorganized before heading off on leg 2 of our trip.
It was nice to be home for a few days. I did a few office things I needed to do and tended to our yard and kind of prepared for winter.
We had 2 full days of canning.
And then
also.
canning last of our vegetables from our garden. It was definitely a action-packed few days, and probably why we didn't turn the camera on.
I think we took 1 picture at the wedding, but it was nice to have the camera off for a few days also.
Today's strategy, we are en route to our Iowa short-term rental. It's about 2 hours away, and since we're at home, I was able to charge the truck up to 100%. No need to charge before we get there, and we'll check this spot out in a couple hours.
We are in Clarksville, Iowa, and getting pretty close to our short-term rental for this date. If this is the first episode in this series that you've seen, I usually go through and scour all sorts of booking websites looking for cool short-term rentals in each state, and then we take that short list and show it to the kids, and they have final say in where we stay in each state. And in Iowa, we are staying at New Day Dairy. So they have a guest barn. Inside of their dairy barn, they have an apartment that overlooks where the cows sleep. So tonight we are sleeping with the cows.
What does that mean?
It means exactly what I said, that tonight we are sleeping with the cows. Aside from sleeping with the cows, we also get to do a barn tour. Tomorrow we are signed up for the Be a Dairy Farmer Challenge.
What does that mean, Lily?
I don't really know, but I do know that their operation looks quite a bit larger than the other dairy farm experience that we had. So I do think it is going to be interesting to compare and contrast those 2 spots. Are you guys excited to see some more cows?
Yes!
Okay, be there in a minute.
Oh, what's upstairs? Cows.
Look at
all of them. Games. Ooh.
Niederhauser family, welcome. We're so honored to be the Iowa pick for your 50 state series. It's time to #sleep with the cows. Please let us know if you have any questions or need something. Have an amusing stay. Dan and Lynn, very cool.
This is New Day Dairy, a family-owned and operated working dairy farm dating back to the late 1800s, which today has around 120 cows and 1 very unique short-term rental. They call it the guest barn, and guests here really do get to sleep with the cows. Owners Dan and Lynn decided to open up the farm to guests and started hosting in 2020, giving visitors a chance to experience life on a real dairy farm in the most immersive way. The guest barn has 3 bedrooms, a fully equipped kitchen, and all the comforts of home. But the highlight is the upstairs loft, where you can watch the cows through huge picture windows. Throughout the house, the cow decor is prominent, but in a way that feels cozy and collected, not kitschy. It's packed with thoughtful family touches, farm-themed toys and games, bins of children's books in nearly every room, and even a stack of cow jokes that had us all laughing. After settling in, we couldn't wait to see more of the farm and meet the cows up close.
Dan and Lynn said we could have a couple friends over, and it just so happens that our great friends, Jordan and Sarah, live about 15 minutes from here, so they're going to come by with their kids and check out the dairy operation. I have known Jordan and Sarah pretty much my whole life. Jordan's been my 3rd grade locker partner, and he moved to town, and I've known him since then. And Sarah's parents used to babysit me here and there, so I've known them forever. They're great friends and excited to see them, spend a little time tonight. We are going to then go out, get some dinner, hang out a little bit, and unfortunately though, before that, it's a new month, and that means owner statements, so I have a little bit of work to do before they get here.
This place is so cool. We're just sitting here watching the cows, watching Dan the dairyman do his evening chores.
It's a crazy operation, and cows, it's just fascinating to sit here and watch them.
They're not even doing anything, but it's just fun to watch them. But we thought it would be a good time to share our Iowa bucket list.
We want to catch up with some friends, which we did with Jordan and Sarah and their family tonight. It was cool to have them over here, and then we had a nice dinner, and it was good just to see some other people and chit chat and hang out for a bit. And then the second one is to stay in the coolest kids STR in Iowa.
We found it.
We found it. This
Hands
place
down.
is awesome.
We're looking forward to doing some of the farm chores and farm tour tomorrow. Even just this view is amazing. We also have ride a tractor, be a dairy farmer, and make ice cream on our list. So we have some good plans to get all of these checked off tomorrow. Good night, cows. From New Day Dairy. It's 8:30. One of two kids are still asleep. Vera just woke up a few minutes ago and now she's still out. We were just talking about how quiet it is in here.
Yeah, they've done a good job thinking about the design. I mean, obviously there's 100 cows on the other side of the wall over here.
Literally.
You don't hear them. Everything's very well sound insulated and had a great night, comfortable night's sleep. So kudos to New Day Dairy and what they've created here. Very cool.
So they do add-ons here, and one of the add-ons that you can get for your stay is what they call a DIY breakfast. There is all kinds of stuff in the fridge. There are pastries from a local Dutch bakery. There are bagels and cream cheese. And we learned that they use the milk from the cows on this farm to make cream cheese. We don't know much more about that process or the scale of that yet, but we're going to learn later today. We are going to go after breakfast on a tour with Dan the dairyman.
We're looking forward to learning more about the operation here. Nash has 1,000 questions and I have a bunch of questions, so it's going to be cool to have him show us around.
Lynn starts off every guest stay with a welcome tour of the dairy barn. We knew we may be getting dirty and had packed the kids' muck boots, but thankfully Lynn had a bin of extras, so Steven and I could borrow a pair too.
The lay of the land out here, obviously you can use the fire pit, play in that field. This lane here, you can kind of walk on it. It goes this way for another like quarter mile. It's just our private drive. From there, you'll also be able to see Dan's parents' house, which is kind of the original farmstead where they had chickens and pigs and all the things, you know, 130 years ago when they moved there. In between here and there, there's also like a pasture. So kind of see the young heifers, we call them. They're not cows yet. Should we go see some cows?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you about what happens to our milk after it leaves our farm. So there's a big milk truck that pulls up. It has like one of those big silver tanks on the back of it. And he comes every other day and he puts a big hose through here, puts it onto his truck, and he takes all of our milk to Luena, Iowa, which is in northeast Iowa. It's about an hour and a half from here. He turns it into cream cheese, Swiss cheese, sometimes like a Gouda Harvarati, some of those specialty things. So here is our first stop, and these guys are the ones that are gonna have babies in the next 2-ish weeks or so. So they kind of get a separate area because that way when we kind of notice, oh, she's close to having that calf, there's a little corner pen off over here and we put her in there and then that's where she has her baby.
We also learned that if a calf is born while you're staying at New Day Dairy, you get to help name it. The main requirement is that the first letter matches the first letter of the mom's name. We all kept our fingers crossed that one of the new calves would come during our stay.
So let's transition over to the robot. So they can kind of go in 2 different ways, right? You know, this commitment pen area, we can put them in there, and the only way out of there is to go through to get milk. Some of them will put themselves in there, but then sometimes we have to put them in there because we're training them to go through, or it's been so long and they haven't gone, so then we're gonna put them in there so they can go through.
This is Rita the Robot, the automated milking system here at New Day Dairy. Rita can milk 2 cows at a time, and each cow is usually milked twice a day. When a cow walks in, Rita scans the ankle band to see who it is, cleans her udders, and then uses sensors to precisely attach match the milking cups. Each cow's unique scan helps Rita remember exactly where to place the cups every single time. The whole process was fascinating to watch, a steady rhythm of the cows and machinery calmly working together. But if a cow tries to sneak in too often for the extra treat she gets while being milked, Rita knows and politely turns her away. After seeing everything that goes into running a modern dairy, we found ourselves curious about the equipment behind it all, something we'll get the chance to learn more about later today. My first time visiting Iowa, pretty sure was like 2010. We came back about a year after Stephen and I met for one of his friend's weddings. And over the last 15 years, Stephen has been trying to get me to move to Iowa from California. And I have always very firmly said no, not happening. But somehow over the last 15 years, he has slowly worn me down to spending more and more time here, to now the point where we spend about half the year here. As much as I didn't think I would like it here, has really grown on me all of this time. I personally really enjoy all of the time that we spend here.
Kylie also has never spent a winter here.
That's
so
true.
Maybe her opinion would change.
Yeah, no,
We spent
it
a
would,
winter.
for sure.
Today we're in a part of the state that I really haven't spent a whole lot of time in. It's only about 2 hours from where I grew up. We are actually going to visit a place that I've never been before, so it's going to be a new experience for all of us.
Our next stop was the John Deere Tractor and Engine Museum, a free and surprisingly fun experience in nearby Waterloo. Along with learning about the history and evolution of the John Deere fleet, there were plenty of hands-on moments for the kids. They loved the tractor design station, using stencils to draw their own creations before clocking in for a pretend workday. It was a fun way to connect what we've been seeing at the dairy to the bigger picture of Iowa farming. We are back on the road after leaving the John Deere Museum. That was a fun little spot. I didn't realize that it was going to be a free museum. So for a free museum, I thought that was interactive and engaging for the kids. Crazy to see the progression of the machines over the past over 100 years.
John Deere has a huge operation in Waterloo here. They're also got many different factories across Iowa and Illinois. And Bear and I got to drive a tractor. She drove me around back to her house, she told me. So it was fun.
So our original plan for dinner tonight was to cook at New Day Dairy, and then I realized as we were going through our cooler that I forgot to pack the chicken. So we are going to make a quick stop at a grocery store on our way back.
We're stopping at Fairway, which is in Iowa, and they're expanding into adjacent states. Grocery store chain. It was actually my first job. One thing Fairway offers is carry-out service for your groceries. So that's where I started.
Every single time. It's not even they will carry it. It's like they expect to carry it out for you.
Started with that, stocking shelves, and then I got into the produce department after a couple years, and then worked mostly produce. Great memories of Fairway number 551 and Eagle Grove.
We'll see what the branch in Waterloo is like.
Driving through Waverly, Iowa, and we just passed the Waverly Midwest Horse Sale, and it made me think of something from a few days ago. We were in Wisconsin Dells and doing the Lost Canyon tour, and they said they got their horses from the Waverly Horse Auction. So kind of interesting that we saw
Just happened to be
drive by the auctions going on, and I guess that's where a lot of people get horses. So little tidbit.
Our Be a Dairy Farmer challenge with Dan, or as everyone here calls him, Dan the Dairyman, was a highlight of our stay. The farm has been in his family for generations, but after studying dairy science at Iowa State, he and Lynn spent time traveling the world and learning how other countries approach dairy farming before returning to Clarksville to pour that knowledge into New Day Dairy. Even Rita the Robot has international roots. Dan may have been showing us the routine parts of his day, but it was easy to see how much pride and care he brings to his work. He knew each cow by name and could tell you their personalities, habits, and quirks. Soft music played throughout the barn, and he even hopped on the piano at one point during the afternoon chores. After mucking stalls and a fun tractor ride around the farm, we headed to what might have been everyone's favorite part of the day, feeding the calves.
Left us a making your own ice cream kit, and the kids and I are going to do that while Kylie gets cleaned up before dinner.
Good night, cows.
Where do cows go for vacation? New York.
Before heading out, Lynn and Dan gave us a farewell tour to answer a few more of the kids' questions and say goodbye to the cows, especially our favorite calves. Each of us had one we kept gravitating to over the past few days. It was a sweet way to wrap up our time here and appreciate just how special this stop has been. It's time to say goodbye to Val and Joy and all of the cows here at New Day Dairy.
We had such an awesome time. Can't understate how cool this was. We got to spend time with Dan and Lynn. Eye-opening to see the whole dairy process, and the cows are cool.
Full dairy experience.
Yep.
And if you want to come and stay here at New Day Dairy, we will leave all of the details for booking down in the description box, and also their links to socials, including Dan the Dairyman's YouTube channel that you have to go check out.
He is an aspiring singer-songwriter and sings songs about cows and a little bit of everything. It's awesome. Today's strategy involves a little bit of a longer day. It's about 6 hours with charging, and we are at our first charging stop in Waterloo, Iowa. Charging here for about 16 minutes, and then we have one more charging stop and then a couple hours after that, we'll get to our destination.
While we wait here at the charger, I just got a text from Paulina, who is our video editor, that our North Dakota episode is ready for review. Typically, she'll tell us when the video is up on our channel. We'll go and have a look and see if there are any edits or revisions needed, and then she makes those, and then we publish it for you guys. So we're gonna have a watch. We are nearing the Iowa border and just taking a few minutes to reflect upon the last week that we've been in this state.
Had a really nice time being back at our house for a little bit. Went by very quick, but we also enjoyed a family wedding, getting to see a lot of my family members.
Of course, our time at New Day Dairy.
That was the spot. That is the coolest kids short-term rental in the state of Iowa.
Hands down.
Awesome memories there. We can't recommend that experience enough. It was really good.
Dan and Lynn were joking with us about how they were hopeful that Ryan Trahan might have stayed there during his 50 States series, but we are secretly, selfishly glad that he didn't, because then we got to stay there.
We wouldn't have wanted to repeat one of his days. Go check them out if you find yourself in north central Iowa anytime soon.
And just as someone who may have given Iowa a hard time at certain points in my life, I will be the first to admit that I was wrong. Iowa is a beautiful state. There's a lot to do and a lot to see.
We are going to cross the border here and be on to our next adventure shortly.
Iowa, Iowa, Iowa.
Where are we going to go?
Back to your house.
My house in a tractor?
Yeah,
Do you know how to get there?
yeah. No, you can just tell me if you see your house.
Oh, and then you'll turn the right way.
And which state is it in?
Iowa.
Have jalapeno snacks.
Really?
They're all jalapenos.
I'm not going to complain about that. You like jalapenos?
No,
No. Are we there yet?
no. They're long dry.